Okay, so Jerry Jones and the Cowboys lock up Dak Prescott. No franchise tag. We expected it for this year, so really no change in the odds as well. What does this do for you, how you perceive this division in the Cowboys?
First off, golf clap to Dak Prescott because he deserves it, absolutely deserves it. But Dak Prescott does not coach the team, and Dak Prescott does not play defense. Those were my two biggest concerns with the Dallas Cowboys based on what we saw last year. Defense, that was a big-time struggle. Shootouts with teams like Cleveland, they couldn't get a stop anywhere. Then you look at Mike McCarthy. He was supposed to have taken a step forward from his days in Green Bay, but the way he mismanaged some of the end of the half and end-of-game scenarios, Prescott being there makes the offense better, but it doesn't clean up the two biggest problems. So I'd be looking elsewhere in the NFC East just based on value.
Same thing. I think he points out to the two biggest reasons why the Dallas Cowboys, you really can't look at them any differently. We expected Dak to be the quarterback. When he was performing at literally an all-time historic level last year before the injury, they were still losing games by giving up 40 points a game. They got hammered by Cleveland. I remember that one game where Jarvis Landry and Odell Beckham are hooking up for touchdowns. He doesn't fix the problems that have plagued this team the last 2 years, and they've been one of the most underachieving teams. Go back to 2019, an opportunity against your Philadelphia Eagles in the end of the season to go in there and get a victory with a better team on paper. They couldn't convert. Last year, of course, you have the excuse of losing Dak Prescott. But still, we saw those issues with coaching and defense. That even if Dak is there, would they have been the playoff team out of the East? Probably, but I don't know. So there's still going to be a dynamic offense, but that offensive line is not getting any younger, pardon me. Those guys are getting younger, and the likes of Tyron Smith and some of the other players on that line. So I just see still some issues there that change nothing about the outlook for this team. Until they address those, they're still, okay, we consider them the favorites, but no confidence in that whatsoever.
Well, that's my thing. If my life depended on it, I would pick the Cowboys, but it's a lot to assume with this offensive line getting better. He's coming off injury, too. We get so desensitized to medical procedures and surgeries. There's just always that risk. But more importantly, he is a stud, and the OC's back as well. Like, once he has all those weapons, the offense will be humming. That's certainly what derailed the offense last year, whether it be Andy Dalton and whoever filled in a quarterback. But the key is the defense, and I think the rest of the division is getting a lot better. We'll see what Washington does with the quarterback position. I think they'll take a step forward. Yes, they won the division last year with a losing record, but someone had to win it. I don't think the Eagles are there, but maybe they're better with Hurts and with what they do with the draft pick and what they figure out. But I think the Giants, with the odds, would be my play to win this division because I think the defense will take a step forward. Daniel Jones has grown, obviously, and then hopefully a healthy Saquon Barkley is back. A lot of moving parts across this entire division. I would like the Giants at the odds.
Washington is an appealing price because they've got the best coach in the division. They're sitting at like 4-1. They closed strong last year. They've got plenty of money to spend. They have a very good defense. They got some playoff experience, and they're going to get aggressive in the quarterback market. They are. They got rid of Alex Smith. They cleared up even more space. The rumor was that they were interested in going after Matthew Stafford. They're going to try to pull something off there. That's a good price for a well-coached team that you know you can bank on.
All right, so they struck out with Stafford. Let's see where they go next.
Agree wholeheartedly with that. I think Cam Newton would be a fit there, reuniting with Ron Rivera, and he'd have some weapons to throw to in Washington as opposed to what we saw in New England this last year. Terry McLaurin is an alpha wide receiver. He's a stud. Antonio Gibson, we saw what he could do as kind of a Christian McCaffrey light for Ron Rivera. He can be on the field all three downs and be a playmaker. I think if they get Cam in that spot, I know Cam looked bad last year with New England, but you got to consider the context. There was not a lot of help around him on that offense. I don't think he's the Cam of old, but put him in a Washington team where they won't have to win with offense. They can rely on Chase Young. They can rely on that defense, and it's a much better supporting cast. I think that's a team that would be the biggest threat to Dallas.
So you think Cam could actually restore some of the magic?
I do.
He was terrible last year.
I do. I think a lot of that was context.
Okay.
When Julian Edelman was there, remember that game against Seattle? He threw for like 376 yards. Once Julian Edelman was gone, the only real NFL caliber wide receiver, then he was screwed. But when Julian was there, he looked pretty good.
What about Heineke? Come on, he was awesome.
Don't forget about Heineke.
If Heineke's starting, I retract everything I just said in the previous 3 minutes.
He played well in the playoffs.
He was nice in the playoffs.
Out-dueled Brady. All right, so it's interesting, but look, we were sick of hearing about it. They finally got it done. It does mean some stability for Dak with the Cowboys.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.